Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Today we're talking about Alabama's offensive line. Definitely hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I know you have concerns going into this season regarding the offensive line. Let's talk about the projected depth chart going into the summer season. So currently you have Tyler Steen at left tackle. Now, Tyler Steen comes over to Alabama from Vanderbilt. He's a grad transfer, and we really don't know too much about Tyler Steen at this point because we haven't seen him line up in an Alabama uniform. However, go back and watch last season's game between Vanderbilt and Georgia. I think you're going to get a good idea of what Tyler Steen is bringing to the table. That's your homework. At left guard, you have Javon Cohen. And Cohen is one of the most underrated linemen, in my opinion, on this team. I think Cohen at the guard position is going to really flourish this season, and I think he's going to have a breakout year for Alabama. At the center position, you have Seth McLaughlin. Now, we saw Seth McLaughlin come on late in the season, last season, and watch him go against Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, McLaughlin might not get a lot of love, but he definitely held his own against a ferocious Georgia defense, so he's coming back. At right guard, you have Emil Ekiyor. We didn't see him during the springtime dealing with an injury. However, Emil Ekiyor, probably the most experienced offensive lineman within this team, and you have him at the guard position. And then at right tackle, you have J.C. Latham, who will be a sophomore this season. So kind of to go over everything, you have Tyler Steen. He's a senior transfer. Cohen's a junior. McLaughlin's a redshirt sophomore, so really 3 years in. Emil Ekiyor is a redshirt senior, so you look at 5 years in. J.C. Latham, the young one of that group, as a sophomore. Now, behind those guys, let's talk behind Steen. And again, this is all projected. You have Kendall Randolph, who's a graduate at the University of Alabama, also plays tight end. You also have Terrence Ferguson, who will be a redshirt freshman at the guard position. You have Darian Dalcourt. We saw him play some last season. He's a senior at the center position. And then you have Damian George. I think George could still get some playing time with that one rotation. You have him at the guard position. And then you have Tyler Booker, who's an actual true freshman for the Alabama Crimson Tide at that tackle position. Other guys to know within that offensive line group, the Brockemeyer brothers, and then Tanner Bowles. So I really wanted to just get on here and talk about the offensive line overall because I know you have concerns going into the season. Don't forget, a key point is that Doug Marrone, he left back to the NFL, and you have Eric Wolford taking over the offensive line. He comes in from Kentucky. I think a lot of people are really excited about him and what he could bring to Alabama, not just on the coaching front, but also on the recruiting front as well. Here he's doing a really great job on that recruiting front. Also, Alabama adding a really important piece in Tyler Steen. So you have to keep Bryce Young upright. Clearly, that's the most important thing going into this season. And he does a lot of that by himself, just with his ninja ability, being able to stay upright and make plays down the field. You got to create lanes and holes for the running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jace McClellan, Trey Sanders, Roydell Williams, Jamarion Miller. And you got to allow Bryce time to get the football to his guys, whether that's new incoming transfers, Tyler Harrell and Jermaine Burton, or risers like Ja'Cory Brooks and JoJo Earl. I know you weren't really impressed with the offensive line this spring season, and I don't think Nick Saban was either. I really think that Alabama's offensive line is going to be just fine going into the season. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Let me know what you think about Alabama's offensive line. Is there one particular lineman that you think is going to have a breakout year? J.C. Latham, Javon Cohen. Let me know what you think about Alabama's offensive line. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com.